Well, hello again, everyone. We are back just in time for WWE Raw. Hopefully, we'll have no more technological issues this week, and Raw continues apace and doesn't break us. But I will cross that bridge if I come to it. Hopefully, we're going to have a good show. And I've got to be honest, when it comes to Raw, I'm never that excited. If you guys weren't here, probably wouldn't even be watching. You guys are here. And together we'll find some way to be entertained by what we're about to watch. Someone7 is here, says, hey, Tom, welcome. Someone7, always like the Barack and a ponytail you bring to the table. Mox is here as well, saying hi, and same as in not that excited for Raw. Fair enough, mate, fair enough. Notifications, unfortunately, do not go out on Twitch for this, so it takes a little while for the room to fill up, but I do want to share a bit of information about spoiler warning earlier today. Spoiler warning earlier was watched by an average of 27 people. So that means from start to finish, we peaked at 38, but our average viewership was 27. That makes it the most viewed Twitch show I have ever made. That is a new record, which takes me more than a third of the way to Twitch partner. Can I just for a moment get very excited about the idea of reaching Twitch partner, because I'd very much like to get excited about that as a concept. It actually didn't, Moxie. It very much peaked at 38. Looking at the stats, that was the highest that we got. But 38 is still an incredibly high number, considering that about a month ago, I was getting 11 or 12. Now I'm getting 38. Things are definitely working out, and the follower number continues to go up. I believe we're currently sitting at 285 followers over on Twitch, which is, I'm not going to lie, guys, it's incredible. It's far higher than I expected. It is indeed 285. It's far higher than I expected and shows that we're definitely doing something right. Meanwhile, over on YouTube, you know what we're doing on YouTube? 663 subscribers, another 2 today. I love you guys already putting us up to 4 likes. Very good start. Very good start. Moxie says, let's go. I'm so happy for you. You don't even understand how happy I am for you. I probably don't. That's very, very true. Things are going good, and that's the most important thing. We are finding audience. And the more audience we find, the closer I get to actually making a living from this. So admittedly, yes, while we've gained, I think it's 6 followers on Twitch today, we haven't gained any new subscribers, but we've still gained followers, and that means more viewers, more lurkers, which makes it easier for people to find us in future. And before you know it, both YouTube and Twitch are monetized, and I can pay my rent. The user is here saying, hi, mate. Hello, the user. Welcome. For everybody on YouTube, just by watching, you are providing a massive help to me. Watch time is the big read on YouTube. So a big thank you. Be aware that next month my StreamYard subscription runs out, which means I won't be able to dual stream on StreamYard. I will instead be going to Streamlabs and dual streaming via that. Streamlabs, for anyone who doesn't know, is the streaming software that I use for Twitch, where my visuals are very different. My pad just turned off. My pad just turned off, which means my headphones are turned off with it. Get that plugged in, shall we? And we're sorted. And it's watch time as much as anything that's got us to the point now where we are more than 2/3 of the way to 1,000 subscribers. And at the moment, we're approaching halfway to the 4,000 watch hour requirement. Also, unrelated, my BT Sport has crashed before the show even starts, which is wonderful. The user asks, what do you think the plans are for Randy tonight? I think he's going to beat up AJ Styles and then get beaten up by Omos. And then Matt Riddle's going to run out and try and help, but ultimately they're both going to get beaten up by Omos. That's what I think the plan's going to be. Ethan is here saying, yo, Tom. Hello, Ethan. How the devil are you? Hope you're well. Was glad to see you following on Twitter. I believe I've followed you back as well. So that's another one for it. Slowly but surely, we're growing all over the place. And that's good. Yeah, Someone7 very much enjoys the crashes. Has Raw started? Yes, literally just. Literally just started. And Michael is here as well saying hi, Tom. Welcome, Michael. I know you're not a regular Raw viewer. I'll let you know if anything exciting happens this week. I'm not going to hold my breath. A lot of The Rock t-shirts. Randy Orton is on his way down to open the show. He's got a new 3D snake hanging from the ceiling, which is nice, I guess. Like I say, not counting on that at all as regards a good Raw. Yeah, no point counting on it. Randy Orton with a newly shaved head. Some new facial hair. He's not quite slivering. This, I believe, is his first time back in front of fans. It's a very warm welcome. He seems thrilled to be back. He's not going to touch anyone. He's just going to take his time and soak it all in. He just slapped the camera. Always good. He's hyper. He's going full Cena at the moment. This is Randy Orton going full John Cena. He did the user. That's very, very true. A very nice pop. People are really reacting to Randall Keith Orton. People in the front row are trying to start an RKO chant. It won't take off. Not until the music stops, at least. He looks thrilled. He looks so happy. Aww. Kind of cute. He had to wait a little bit longer than the rest for a crowd. A little bit longer. But it's worth it. He's waiting to do his pose. You can see so many people in the crowd doing the exact same pose. He's put himself in position so his wife can see as well. Moxley says, Riddle, Big E or Randy are taking the WWE Championship away from Bobby. Well, that's three big names you've chosen there. Can you narrow it down at all? There we go, Orton reaching for a microphone. We got a commentary. They're hyping up SummerSlam. Nothing particularly exciting, got to be honest. Randy was checking his proverbial watch because he's gone over more than he should. Bailey, I start at 9 a.m. I'll finish watching Raw at 4 a.m. It's going to go great. Welcome, Bailey. Cheap pop. Fans are there for it. Nobody in that crowd cares about releases. Matt Riddle coming down before an actual promo can even start. He also looks very, very happy for Randy to be back. Big bro chant with the big hug coming. Second microphone involves now. I'm enjoying Orton's Satan goatee. And I'm mostly saying that because of, I'm also Satan goateed up. Kura says, I had a friend ask what I would do to save Raw. What would you do to save Raw? Go for it. Tell us what answer you gave. This is getting a little questionable now. He said make R-Truth Raw GM. He would just constantly book himself in 24/7 championship matches. That's all he would do. I mean, it'd be funny, but it would just be like 2 segments a week. The fans can't quite work out whether they want to chant RKO or RK Bro. They're struggling to get on sync. Oh, Riddle got the big chant going. Half expected him to go full Hogan there. Randy with a bald head is always confusing to me. This is a hyped up crowd. There's a guy in the front row who's got real Taz energy. And my BT Sports has crashed again. It's fucking useless. Great start. Great start. I miss most of the good promos because of this shit. I really do. Your other option was to bring up Legado del Fantasma from NXT and use them to make a new LWO. No good options you're giving me there, I gotta be honest with you. They don't need an LWO. They can be Legado del Fantasma. They've got an LDF. Just let them. Here we go. Stepdads? I don't understand. I don't understand the stepdad conversation. What did I miss? Randy Orton saying we were a good team while also wearing an RK Bro hoodie. Kind of seems disingenuous with that in mind. And here comes AJ. Crowd is very hot for an opening segment featuring these 4 competitors. As we know, fans are really quite behind the very existence of AJ Styles. Someone in the crowd has got a tag team championship and he's just waving it around. What is the stepdad thing? I must have missed this during the BT Sport thing. Ugh. I like the hi dad sign. Thought Too Sweet was trademarked. Got a Too Sweet chant going. That did not take long at all. AJ Styles is trying to protect Matt Riddle now. Protect him from Randy Orton. Go on, go. Make legend killer jokes. Make it about the releases. Now's the time to really use that. Crowd are trying to put them off, but they're not doing a good job of it. Got to do a bit more. The words are, but the motion isn't. Well, he kind of did both. He's playing the what chants very nicely. I like the camera positioning here. It made a point of making it so that it's tilted slightly, so you're always looking up at Omos. Hyped up Randy Orton promo. You don't get many of them. Brief staring contest between Omos and Randy Orton. They're going to get physical fast. Styles versus Orton tonight. Never going to complain about that. Little uppercut there. I think it was supposed to be an RKO, but Randy basically fell over in the meantime. He's shaping for Omos. Omos is not going to take it, surely. Absolutely not. Riddle's stalking. It's going to end badly for him. Orton's doing what he needs to do to distract. Nope. Nope. Just solid nose. Awkward choke slam. Wasn't quite level when he landed. Got a boot going for Omos. It's not easy at the moment. Anyone by association of AJ Styles is usually cheered pretty heavy. Even says it's only 1 week until SummerSlam. It'll be my first time watching a pay-per-view live. I can't wait. I've been to a few, most of the UK shows, and they are fun. The crowd usually carries you along pretty strong. Brandon, welcome, Brandon, mate. Says just finishing my break. Have a great stream and enjoy Raw. Speak soon. You too, man. Hope the job's going pretty well. Really do hope so. So opening segment, as opening segments go, not bad. Promised us a big match for later. Got some minor character development for the tag team. Not really, though. We had a very impassioned Randy Orton, a very excitable AJ. Strong promo, strong opening segment. We're getting a recap of McIntyre and Mahal. Looks like we're going straight into this after the break. I'm going to be happy with that. So far, I've enjoyed this feud. Megan, SummerSlam is 11 days away from the 21st. We will, of course, be doing a full watch party right here. Not everyone Orton touches goes to it. Hell is Baron Corbin doing? Wait. Baron Corbin via Brand vs. Brand Invitational has taken on Drew McIntyre, which is exactly what happened with the first Brand vs. Brand Invitational. Baron Corbin's the guy who's taken advantage of all these Brand vs. Brand Invitational so far. Ugh. Yep, it is next Saturday, so 21st. Chelsea says, what the fuck was that segment? Why did they break RK Bro up, the best tag team? I think by the end of the night, it will not be a breakup. I don't see it. I very much think it's going to be a situation whereby they tease a breakup, but then by the end of the night, they're both standing tall together. Corbin's facial expressions are so good. So Baron Corbin is so poor, he will happily get decapitated if it means potentially getting some money. God, I love this character. Oh, he has his theme back. No, they just cut his music. That's all they could afford. Okay, I like that. Oh, Megatron is here. Welcome back, Megatron. Gonna give Tom news if I see anything backstage. Please do, Kura. Would appreciate that. Neem says, why ain't Corbin on Raw is supposed to be on SmackDown? Brand vs. Brand Invitational. It is canon. It is canon. Megan says, I'd hope they've forgotten about the brand to brand thing. I think they do. I genuinely think they forget until something happens. I think, if anything, It's always Corbin going into Vince's office and it's like, hey, can I go to Raw? Brand versus Brand Invitational. The what? The Brand? I did it last time. Yeah, whatever, get out. Corey says Corbin's poor, let him work extra. That's basically where I am as well. Bless him. Will we see Corbin showing up on NXT too? Developmental? Nah, he's not developmental anymore. He graduated from NXT a long time ago. Only developmental people are in NXT. Chelsea says the reason this story doesn't work is because everyone knows what his salary is. It does come across as disingenuous because it is disingenuous. Corbin is a moderately high earner in the grand scheme of things. He's never been a champion, so he's not one of the highest earners. But I do see a championship in his future at some point soon. We know it's not true, but that's how kayfabe works. Willing suspension of disbelief. Correa says, I have this strange feeling Corbin's story is going to bring the $1 million championship into the main roster. I mean, it's a way to do it. It's not a bad shout. Moxley says, future WWE champion, and that Corbin is going to Raw in the draft. Not sure. I like what they're doing with him on SmackDown. I think on Raw they might sort of forget about him and abandon him. Noob says Corbin is going to be cannon fodder tonight, and you are not wrong, Noob. If you're taking on Drew McIntyre, tends to be that you lose. Drew's one of those I just can't see taking an end of days. I just can't see it. Mega says, not everything is true, though, that you see. So I'm liking the storyline because that's kayfabe. Yeah, I'm giving it willing suspension of disbelief and seeing what could happen with it. Billy said they could have Corbin wandering around Las Vegas before SummerSlam. To be fair, they could make it the story that basically he did some gambling during SummerSlam because he wasn't on the card and just made a lot of money. Chelsea says, not going to lie, the WWE product is so weak at the minute, may take a break from it unless SummerSlam is insane. That's not an unfair statement. They've dropped a lot of really talented people, and Raw continues to get worse. It was slowly getting better, and it's just gone the other way now. So I completely understand why that might be the best move for yourself. Oh, hey! It's S. Oh, I nearly missed you, but then I remembered that, I actually know real people who aren't horrible little trolls. Oh. Welcome back, S. I missed you so much. Megan says Drew's going to pity Corbin more than anything, still going to kick his ass. So it's Drew McIntyre. It's Drew McIntyre. He's going to boot people's head right down their body. It's going to be amazing. Standard stuff. Did you see what Fiend has posted on his Twitter? I did. It's an interesting evolution to the mask, and I'm interested to see how it goes. Yeah, he says you can't kill it, and he posted a new look. Michael's excited. The S is back. S is back. Oh, aren't we all hyped? We're all so hyped for the watch time. I'm thrilled. Genuinely thrilled. Just gonna have a drink. So, match-wise, let's see what we know is going to happen. We know that we're going to get Randy Orton versus AJ Styles. High-caliber match. Never going to complain at another round of hostilities for those two. As long as we don't get the same thing that happened last time when The Undertaker came out as the end result of that feud. It was a confusing moment for all involved. Outside of that, match-wise, not much promised. We obviously know we're about to get Corbin versus McIntyre, which should be okay. We're getting a recap of the crown being lost. This does seem like it's a warm-up for Corbin moving full-time to Raw. Heretic says, my question is still to that if they posted on Twitter they fire Bro out of his old look, did they fire the Fiend? Yeah. Fiend's gone. Maggie says, I was watching Kings before this, so I was in a good mood. Let's see how long it takes Raw to ruin it. So far, it's been okay, but we're only in the first 20 minutes. The opening promo is very good. We're about to get McIntyre versus Corbin, which once again should be decent wrestling and a decent storyline. Should be good enough. McIntyre opened with sort of being a bully, but didn't embrace that. This is just getting a little bit Clockwork Orange at this point. A little bit Clockwork Orange. Corey said, don't touch the blade of Vince's sword. That's 3 months in solitary. Is that what we call catering now? The mother thing, it's not good. Naming a sword that you don't own about your mother, it's not great. We're getting another history lesson now. Yeah, I'm not keen on the name. Megan says, I do have to say, Drew wielding that of one hand takes a lot of arm strength, so I'm impressed. The blade looks incredibly thin. Like, that's a very thin blade. That said, he does have incredible arm strength. Look at the size of the guy. The guy got muscle. Putting it into the stone so it just wobbles about. It's not the most beautiful mood. Not the most beautiful mood. S, you little troll. Keep giving me the watch time. Give me all the watch time. Give me all the engagement. The more you click, the more you chat. Tell you what happens. YouTube recognizes that people are engaging with my videos. And they advertise them to more people. And then those people go out and they make me more successful. So you just spouting verbal diarrhea, basically shitting everywhere you go, you don't hurt me. You don't. If you'd like to continue wasting your own time, I'll take it. I'll take all of it. You just go right ahead. You've got to remember, I don't care about you. And I know all you want is attention. Last bit you'll get. Chelsea says he never takes a sword to the ring, meaning it will be used. Well, yeah, at the moment, his whole thing is just swinging his sword about. And I mean his actual sword. Megan says, Finn or not, there will still be a solid handle, and the size of it alone makes it formidable. I have one, I know. I do have some pretty heavy weaponry here, not the wooden one. Not the silly little wooden one. I do have an actual sword here. And so I get what you're saying. Corbin's trying to beg off. Oh no, I had to work so hard to silence a guy. So hard. I've never had to work so hard to press a button in my life. So hard. Heretic says, how can you watch Raw right now? BT Sport, when it works. When it works. And honestly, I'm trying to make it more fun for people on the internet, essentially, is my plan. The way I'm seeing it, Raw's not very fun, but it's a hell of a lot more fun when you got people to watch it with. Noom says, Drew definitely noticed with history lessons. Apparently, wielding a sword is awesome. Well, to be fair, wielding a sword is awesome. I don't think we can argue that. Alexa Bliss will take on Doudrop tonight. That's kind of what I expected. I just thought it would be next week. I'm not sure how much actual wrestling we'll get in that match, let's be honest. Omega says, Tom, I mean his actual sword, collar hue. Yeah, that's accurate. I said it and I meant it. Kuru says, I have a Japanese family katana from my grandfather that I was going to use when I wanted to be a wrestler, but I thought it would be tacky. Well, Drew McIntyre seems fine of it. And if it works for Drew McIntyre, it'll work for you. Megan says, I'll always appreciate someone who has some skill with a blade, and absolutely you should. It's not easy swinging it around, okay? It's all part of the job. He says, guess who also has been using the brand to brand last year, and it's Asuka. Don't recall that all that much. Remember Charlotte using it, that's about it. Predictions for SmackDown. Finn Balor and John Cena in a promo off. Roman Reigns standing tall at the end. Bianca Belair and Sasha Banks getting into a scrap. Standard stuff. Like, I got to be honest at this point. SmackDown follows a very simple formula. It's a formula that works, and it's a formula that is usually quite entertaining, but it's still a formula. We know who the matches are going to be for SummerSlam, so it's just a case of, okay, let's do a segment for this person who's in a match at SummerSlam with this person. Let's do a segment for this person who's in a match with this person at SummerSlam. It's all fairly standard stuff. And Megatron says, always appreciate your one-liners. Oh, bless you. Bless you. There are some actors who are great with a blade. I will always think of Viggo Mortensen. Always. Xander says, Tom, is it worth watching the next hour of Raw? I have absolutely no way of answering that question. It hasn't happened yet. Like, I could sit here and say no or yes, but I would be full on lying to you. So I'm not going to do that. Megan says, it's easy to predict SmackDown. It's 3 words, better than Raw. Week in, week out. Never fails. Cora says, I miss my Marty Enzo ring. Too late now for me, but I might still try to get creative with my idea in the company I'm going to be working for in the future. Well, there you go then. Unless the company you're working for in the future is like a customer service outlet. If you're working in like the all those shops in an airport, try not to involve swords. They frown on that. Michael is excited for AEW Rampage to start on Friday. I may have to actually check this one out because, after all, CM Punk. Might have to. Megan says, Viggo absolutely knows what to do with a blade. As I was typing skill of a blade, it was his voice I heard in my head. To be fair, there's a lot of things that we do which mean Viggo Mortensen's voice plays in our heads. Good times. Not sure how a sword would work for that, but hey, go for it. If you want to be backstage in AEW and everyone's like, okay, for the setup, what I'd like you to do for the set is, I'm going to swing a sword around. No, Kuro. What I need you to do is just arrange it, look at the prop department, and just put towards the sword everywhere. That's great stuff. It says, thank the God Stuart Townsend didn't stay as Aragorn. Yeah, his hiring was really confusing. There is no reason for it. None whatsoever. It is baffling to me. Absolutely baffling. If you're currently watching on YouTube, please do remember that it will be a very big help for me if you click like on the video. As I've said, every engagement is a huge help in supporting the growth of the channel. We're currently sitting at 663 subscribers, which is a lovely number, but could potentially be better if we're able to find some new people. Bit by bit, we get closer and closer to that point. Right now, 663, 6 people watching, good times. And it says, Lukaku's on his way to Chelsea as you speak. Yeah, 115 million. A lot of money for someone that they said they didn't want previously. And I don't think they'll even use him right. Kura says, letting them use it as a prop for background aesthetic is what I was hoping because it'd make sure it's taken care of. If I'm a wrestler and I see a sword backstage, I'm picking it up. Just am. I believe, Megan, we may be the only 2 people in the world who've watched as many of those appendices as it takes to learn all of this individual information. But you know what? I respect you wildly for that. I've watched every appendices and all the extended editions. Good times were taken. McIntyre superplexed off the top by Corbin. Corbin's actually showing for this. Chelsea says, no, Lukaku will be top goal scorer. He's a missing piece in the Chelsea puzzle. I'm not entirely sure you have the creative midfielders to find him regularly enough for him to be the top scorer. That's how I see it. I don't think Mason Mount is actually the right guy for Romelu Lukaku. But then you've got Havertz, you've got Timo Werner, people who aren't going to get chances now. Fingers crossed for him and it all works out, but we are where we are. Megan says, I can't watch the standard cut anymore, extended cut or nothing from it. It's been a long time since I've watched the standard cut. I feel if I did, I would find it very, very difficult to actually focus because I'd just be picking out all the differences. Lord of the Rings, mate. It's the future. It's the answer. And I don't think stylistically they are the right fit for Romelu Lukaku. Kante is not a creative midfielder. I wonder why you're saying that. Jorginho tends to be long balls in behind because he sits quite deep quite a lot, in my experience. You know better than me. It's just my interpretation of it. And Mount is mostly a runner rather than a passer, from what I can tell. If you had a De Bruyne, there'd be your answer there. A Grealish as well, like so little balls in behind and then decent crosses from wide. That's more Lukaku style. The Lukaku that played for Belgium is very different to the Lukaku that you are getting for Chelsea. We will wait and see. I will watch with bated breath and see, because honestly, I'm happy with this signing. Manchester United look like you're actually they're actually made the right signing, so they'll be a force to be reckoned with. Man City. Chelsea look like they're at least getting back into this. Meanwhile, Tottenham and Arsenal, they're going to struggle to stay top 10 at this point. I'm excited for the Lord of the Rings TV show next year. I really am. I'm a Tolkien guy. Okay, McIntyre at this point is just bullying. Go for it, Kuro. If you can find work, find work. Especially if it's wrestling. I think McIntyre's going to walk away. McIntyre's offering some money. It's still kind of bullying, but it's $100,000 for a couple of days. I like that. He wants $100,000 for a couple of days. Oh, he's going to get claymored. We're doing the 1, 2, 3 thing. McIntyre's not a good guy. And Claymore. Honestly, not a bad match. Genuinely not a bad match. And McIntyre just walks away, having taken the win very comfortably. Jared22, welcome to the show, says, what do you think of Raw? So far, it's all right. But it's only been going on for a half hour so far. McIntyre Corbin was a solid match. The opening promo was good. We've been promised Randy Orton versus AJ Styles. I'm excited for that. Problem is, we've also been promised Alexa Bliss versus Doudrop, and I'm not excited for that. Got some Messi going to PSG and thoughts on Grealish for 100 million. The fact that Man City can still afford 100 million after the whole pandemic is baffling to me, especially when they're still apparently planning to throw money at Kane. Clearly, they're not working within financial fair play, and to be fair, they never have been. When it comes to Messi going to PSG, hey, he's found work. It must be difficult when you literally can't live on anything less than 150,000 a week. Noob says Corbin got what he deserves. Shouldn't be on the worst show. It worries me whenever they do a brand-to-brand invitational, because it says to me that they think they don't have enough people on the roster to be compelling. That could have been someone like Angel Garza getting an opportunity, Drew Gulak getting an opportunity. Instead, they felt they need to bring Corbin over. Makes a very clear message about what they believe of their talent pool. Kuro says, wasn't supposed to be a PA with WWE for as long as I was told it was a temporary position. Part of creative in 6 months and 4 years later, they fired me. PA, mate. That's how they make it work. I agree with you, Chelsea. I don't think Kane will leave. I don't think he'll be allowed to leave. Yeah. Riddle is trying to talk Randy into letting him come down to ringside with him. Permission or no, he'll come down. Was that an airplane joke from Randy Orton? That was an airplane joke from Randy Orton. Jeff Hardy's making his entrance, looking very multicolored. Yeah, he's got no more words now. We were expecting the beginning of a push. He is taking on Karrion Kross. Oh, God. They've gone back to the storyline with Karrion Kross. Why would they do this? Why? Get the Tables here says, Corbin has done such a great job with this new broke gimmick. He has. You have to respect the acting ability and the commitment to just growing out his hair and wearing the same shirt covered in crap. It's wonderful stuff. Omegatron says Jeff's about to beat Cross again. Chelsea says, why is Randy being a knob? I think they're just teasing the idea that maybe they're not as strong a team as they actually are, but they actually are. I think they're just trying to make it a bit less predictable and say, oh, maybe they won't make it to SummerSlam when they're going to make it to SummerSlam. Kuro thinks Cross is losing. I also kind of think Cross is losing. I don't see Jeff Hardy losing, especially not after coming back from beating the almighty COVID. Noob says, what is up with WWE? I thought we're done with that headache of a story between Hardy and Karrion Kross. Yeah, apparently not. WWE disagree with that concept. They'll never be done. We'll have this storyline until one of them gets over, or they're both released, one or the other. They've been throwing a lot of money at Jeff Hardy. I think a lot of people were released to keep Jeff Hardy, to be completely honest with you. Don't like it as a concept. Do believe it. Also, my BT Sport crashed again. For people keeping track, nothing's working. Watch live. Thankfully, we're during a commercial break, so I honestly don't have that many complaints. As last year and a bit shows, not even a global pandemic can stop WWE being WWE, and you are not wrong there. Not wrong there. The WWE have a wonderful way of always being the same. No matter how many differences they bring in, they'll always be WWE. Are we having problems? Feed is choppy in Canada. That's not good. See, here in the UK, the problem's not the feed. The problem is BT Sport app. It's terrible. BT Sport have just never been able to put together a decent app. But it seems to be worse after midnight. Because I can watch football and have no problems whatsoever. I have a habit of watching a Champions League game in the bath. Just holding my phone while I'm in the tub. Good times. Good old Champions League. Chelsea says Cena haters can now realize it was never him that needed to change. It was the product. You're not wrong. You're absolutely not wrong. Thank you for the follow on Twitch, GameDev195. Very much appreciate that. Welcome to the show. You'll get a notification every time I go live with spoiler warning as well as watch parties, meaning you'll get plenty of wrestling news in your inbox over the next few months and years, however long you choose to commit to following here. And Kura says Canada gets a third-party rebroadcast in USA converted to our station. Well, that's shit. That is absolute shit. We're getting a recap of 3 weeks ago when Jeff Hardy beat Karrion Kross with a roll-up within 2 minutes, I believe it was. I don't really have thoughts on someone being pregnant in the summer. I really don't know how to respond, to be honest with you, Chelsea. Someone will be there. They will also be pregnant. Okay. A very, very small pop for Karrion Kross. Someone cheered. No one's cheering now. Okay, Chelsea, people can still sing when they're pregnant. I mean, there's strain on the lungs, but still sing. News says we're getting a sword fight between Karrion Kross and Jinder Mahal. I don't think we are. I don't see them ever really crossing paths. I really don't. See, what we just heard there, what we've just heard there from commentary, that's what we're actually supposed to be focusing on. Right the wrongs of the past. It won't be until Scarlett returns. Megan says, I feel for her being pregnant over the summer, being told it's not comfortable at all, especially in the third trimester, but she did it last pregnancy. If she wants to work, she wants to work. I give her credit for that. Basically, this is a message to Triple H. Essentially, what they're saying is, hey, this is your top star. He still needs development. Kara says, dead crowd for Cross, which is absolutely accurate. Absolutely accurate. The crowd just, they don't really care about Karrion Kross. And it shows. I don't think we are. Jinder Mahal is not equipped with the right size of weapon to handle a Drew McIntyre. Strong Hardy chant from the crowd. Cross is not going to get a lot of love from this crowd because most of them don't know who he is. Most of them have no clue who he is. The hope here from the WWE is to give him some sort of character at the beginning. At least establish why he and Scarlett are together and have a connection. That was a hope. Cora says, no one benefits from this if I ever win. Agreed. Chelsea's asking where is Raw. I'm not entirely sure, to be completely honest with you. I did not catch that at the beginning of the show. Cross into a ring post. Jeff Hardy now taking over. Squashes Cross into a barricade. Takes his top off because it's Jeff Hardy, and that's what he does. I thought this was screaming commercial break, but it looks like what's actually happening is just a replay. I think I just saw the Joker as well, which always adds something to a show, doesn't it? It's always nice to see a Joker. Thank you, Bailey, for providing that answer. Roy's in Orlando. So home turf, basically. You'd think if there was anywhere where people actually recognize the NXT champion, it's Orlando, Florida. Apparently, this is the best they could do. It's not a good thing. It's not a good sign for Karrion Kross's future when people literally just don't seem to care. And they literally don't seem to care. That's what I'm saying, Kuro. Kross just isn't getting anything from the crowd. And if he's not getting anything from the crowd, he's not going to get anything from the company either. They won't supply if they don't think he's worth investing in. Chelsea says, which male and female superstar will be faces the company in 5 years? Roman Reigns and Sasha Banks. Yeah, I don't think it's going to change. I think we're going to get the same people in the top in 5 years as we do have now. I just don't think there'll be any sort of rotation there. Nim says Kross is becoming more and more of a threat to Jeff Hardy. Don't agree. Don't agree at all. But we'll wait and see. If Kross wins the match, Kross wins the match. I just don't necessarily think it's going to happen. So yeah, we're hitting a bit of a lull in Raw already. The second match. Ethan, the plan is to have a UK tour in September. Don't know if there still will be, but September. Yes, Kuro, they are. 15 minutes away from the CWC. The locals here are very aware of NXT. They just don't care. They just don't care. Jeff says SmackDown's coming to UK in September as a tour. Thank you for clarifying that, Chelsea. And Kura says it's even the same general crowd area. It is. It is, and they don't care. The fans don't care about this. They're literally the people who will be most familiar with Karrion Kross, and they're still not giving him anything. That tells you that maybe Vince isn't wrong not to push this guy. He hasn't come up a house of fire. He hasn't. Chelsea is going to the UK tour in September. If anyone else is going and you want to hook up with Chelsea at some point and say hi and go to it, he may not actually look like N'Golo Kante, but he is a former Ballon d'Or winner. Just so we all know. We're all clear. At this point, at least we're nearly done with the first hour. We're nearly a third of the way through. My eyes are burning ever so slightly. What does Vince actually do nowadays? Big picture stuff. Basically, he meets with Adam Cole. That's basically his role now. Sure, Chelsea. No, Kuro. No. If you're there, enjoy the show. I'm not asking anyone to go looking for info for me. That's not a thing. I have my own ways of finding out info. Usually damn good info. And other than that, it's a case of you do what you want to do. You have fun. Billy says, why does John Laurinaitis still carry favor with Vince? I don't know. I don't know. A lot of women really don't like John Laurinaitis. I think as much as anything, he's just Vince's yes man, you know? Vince likes having a yes man. Even says, do you think Sasha will always stay heel? No. No. I think she will do essentially whatever the company needs her to do. And if that means changing, she'll change. The hell was that from Jeff Hardy? He just bounced off the ropes and then fell on him. Ah, interesting, Megan. The Amway Center where the Thunderdome used to be, it really is unrecognizable. Once you take out the Thunderdome, it does look completely different. But I can actually see, now that you pointed that out, if you fill in the gaps a little bit, okay, another splash. What? A second rope splash. Since when does Jeff Hardy hit splashes? What is he doing? Well, the match is at least longer than 2 minutes. There's a roll-up. That's the tights. Maybe Cross is taking this one. It's far too even. Dangerous suplex. Looks like he's got this one. And Cross's turn. It's Cross's turn for a win. It's going to be 50-50. Cross has literally come in with two 50-50 feuds. Moxie. Maybe. No idea. That's not really done anything. Like anything for Karrion Kross, has it? I'm guessing this is just to give them an extra match. This is just an excuse to give them another match. I think that's piped in boos as well. I'm not seeing anyone actually booing. That is piped in audio from Roman. Guru says neither benefits from either winning. Would have booked a DQ finish, to be honest. I wouldn't have booked the match. So our first hour draw segment looks like it's going to be Alexa Bliss. She is a draw, that's true. Segment isn't. Segment really isn't. Doudrop, of course, lost her first match to Tamina. And the doll did a stand. I don't want to. I don't want to. I'm hoping the crowd sings happy birthday. Big pop for Bliss. She's sort of singing along with her music, but there's not really much to sing along with. She's getting a big pop, but it's Alexa Bliss. She'll always get a pop, just this isn't really the ideal environment for it. Megan says, so Ali lost in his hometown. Will Alexa lose on her birthday? I don't know. They have been keeping Alexa strong. But to be fair, we haven't seen her wrestle a lot. Not for a while. Will I be doing a SmackDown watch-along? Yes, Ethan. I do watch-alongs for both Raw and SmackDown every single week. So far, we've been doing them since January, and I've missed half a SmackDown because I just wasn't feeling very well. And then Raw last week because of technological issues. Basically, my laptop is going to burn out eventually. No way around it. We have an NXT commercial trying to get people to watch NXT. Not sure it's going to work out. Megan says, how many people are going to dress up as Lily for Halloween then? People have been doing that. There's been a lot of cosplay going on for Alexa Bliss and Lily. More than I expected. Chelsea says, honestly, when I started... An error has occurred in the following application. You'll never guess which application it is. When I started watching WWE for the first time in 10 years, in December, I'm so happy the first thing I saw was Triple H walking out, which kept me watching. If I saw this Alexa Bliss nonsense when I tuned in, I would have never carried on watching. I don't think you're alone in that. It's a bit more than a week, Moxie. It's a bit more than a week, but yeah. Like 13 days, a little bit more than a week. I'm surprised that they're putting Alexa Bliss into the first hour draw segment. Usually that's Charlotte's place. And of course, we know Charlotte will be cutting a promo tonight. I like that, Jamie. I like that. That's clever. Welcome to the show, mate. Megan says, there's no way Joe is losing, surely. No, there's no way Joe's losing. Karrion Kross is already being called up. I'd be stunned if he lost. Also, I'm pretty sure Joe would have been promised a championship, to get him to sign a new contract anyway. Let's be honest. He's not the only one. Yeah, I think you guys in Canada must be a little bit behind on that one then, Kura. Maybe they're just trying to draw you in. Maybe it's all an elaborate ruse. Maybe it's just a clever lie. Who can tell? Who can tell? We have reached the end of our first hour, or at least we're about to when it comes to Raw, but we have on the stream. So far, Raw's been okay. Cross Hardy was baffling as always, but McIntyre versus Corbin was all right. The opening promo segment was good. I just worry that the Cross Hardy match was the beginning of a really difficult time. Just a really difficult time. You know, one of those really slow segments where you wonder why you bother watching Raw at all. You know the ones. We all know the ones. Sometimes there's always going to be those segments where you just don't want to. You just don't want to. Sadly, WWE is the only product on a free channel in Canada. Other wrestling shows are on paid-for channels. Yeah, to be fair, WWE are the big boys, so makes sense. Megan says, I would keep Finn on all the ads as long as possible. That's just me. Yeah, he should always be on my TV. At all times. Every possibility. Moxie says, I don't like Gonzalez as NXT Women's Champion. Why is that, Moxie? Why don't you like it? Don't what? No, just don't. Just don't. I don't want to consider that. I really don't. Mike says, don't worry, still 2 of the most boring hours of our lives to go. Well, cheers for that. Cheers for that. Alexa Bliss is in the ring waiting for an opponent, and the WWE decided to cut away to a comedy routine between Matt Riddle and Randy Orton. That was dumb. Even says Sasha should have a match this week to build momentum heading into SummerSlam and hopefully winning as well. I disagree. I think she should stay out of action until SummerSlam and then just win. Moxie thinks Raquel Gonzalez is boring. I don't watch enough of it to really know. What I will say is there's actually quite a few boring characters in NXT. No, I think the issue is more that, like, Riker would get promoted for being in that match. For some reason, Vince McMahon's just got a real soft spot for Jackson Riker. And it's not good. It's not good. This is literally just a comedy montage. It's like the WWE have realized that 7 weeks is a long time, and they just seem to think that we've forgotten the entire storyline so far between Randy Orton and Matt Riddle. You can tell they're the entire focus this week. Michael says a lot of boring characters in NXT, and last week was probably the last time I watched that too. Sorry to hear it. Corey says it makes me sad. Megan says if I was Alexa, I would be pissed right now. Me too. They've completely taken the camera off her and they're ignoring her completely. You want Dakota to win, but she won't. Yeah, I don't think she's going to. Yeah, she's going to Raw. Dakota's going to Raw. Or she might have one bad tryout and Vince decides to get rid of her. Matt Riddle is being interviewed backstage. And he's basically said what we said earlier. He's still going to come down to ringside whether Randy Orton wants him there or not. Alexa Bliss clearly got a cue there to start arguing with her doll. Someone cued her in. Michael says, I'd love Dakota to win, but Kaylee Ray would be really good too. I do think Frankie Monet is the choice they'll go with. But you never can tell. Kaylee Ray is supposed to be debuting very, very soon on either NXT or main roster. I think she might be a main roster choice personally. I don't think they did, Kuro. I don't think they did. In my experience, WWE wrestlers are told when the camera's not on you, just wait. I found it infuriating when I had that from Pete Dunne. When they're showing replays on the screen, the wrestlers tend to just stand there until the replays stop, and then they're like, yeah! yeah, the crowd's not going to care now. You've killed the momentum by not doing anything in the meantime. And they do it. It's infuriating. Corey Graves is asking a lot of questions about the doll, and I'd rather we all ignored it and pretended it didn't exist. Gotta be honest, Doudrop's theme doesn't sound anything like it would suit her. Same's true of Eva Marie. Don't know what would suit her, but not that. At a guess, I'm saying Doudrop's going to wrestle and just distract Alexa Bliss. And Eva's going to take the doll. We want Wyatt. A very strong we want Wyatt chant there, although we want Riot is also effective. And now we're wrestling. Why? She's not there to wrestle, and she's not on very much money. Let's not advocate for more releases. Does Lily have a managerial license? Shut up, commentary. I liked that. Corey Graves asking the important questions. Megan says, I'll allow for possession to happen if it means Piper decks Eva. I mean, why not? Piper versus Bliss. It'll be... You know Piper's going to be really happy to be in a match of this caliber. But she did lose to Tamina last week, and it wasn't good. Stop focusing on the fucking doll. Ugh. I think Naomi's going to be SmackDown Women's Champion next year. I don't. I think, unfortunately, Naomi's opportunities with the company are getting less and less and less. They don't care about her. They don't. They want her around to hit a certain demographic. She'll be... honestly, I don't know if she'll be on TV again this year based on the usual standards with Naomi. Usually by the second half of the year, they forget she exists and she doesn't come back again until the Royal Rumble. So she might just not be on TV again this year. I don't want that to happen, but I also know WWE. They don't give a shit. See, for Money in the Bank, Alexa Bliss debuted new gear that was similar to her previous Goddess gear. Now she's gone backwards again. I don't know why. I really don't. Was the plan to get rid of most of the occult stuff, but then they changed their mind? Eva Marie's getting a lot of hate from the crowd. And you see, that's what she's there for. Michael says, that's sad. I like Naomi a lot. She's so talented. Agreed. WWE don't seem to care. Sasha and Roman should not work together. Absolutely no chance. You don't want to put every star you've got in the top storyline because then everybody else's storylines are just completely abandoned. Okay, D-Drop's going to lose. She got distracted by a winking doll. I fucking hate that doll. Yeah, we're definitely in a dark patch right now. I'm just going to tweet that. I fucking hate that doll. That's all I'm going to say. I like to keep it simple. Megan says, and as I've said as well, they'll keep Naomi off TV to get the big return pop of the Rumble again. Yeah, they do it every year. Every single year. Michael just says, sounds like a great Raw. Yeah, it's not good. It's not good. That was indeed the second hour opener. That was a draw segment. That was a draw segment. Ah, yes, the roll up. The horror that is being rolled up from behind. We're getting a recap of the US Championship feud. Damien Priest and Ricochet both involved. They are getting more and more of the whole drip stick thing. They just keep adding more. Their video editing is usually a lot better, yeah. Usually a lot better. The video editing team is probably the best team in all of WWE, to be completely honest, and I mean that ahead of the wrestlers as well. I'm still not there for America's Moist Wanted. I don't like it. Sheamus versus Ricochet tonight, then. I want to keep Banks out of the ring to make it more impactful when she does step into the ring. Same reason that Roman very rarely wrestles on SmackDown nowadays. Makes it much more impactful when he wrestles on pay-per-views. Okay, so we've got Sheamus versus Ricochet. Raw from here should improve. I gotta be honest, if it doesn't, I'm very tired. I might just have to go to bed. Good boo for Sheamus. I cannot say 100% what any of the results for SummerSlam will be, Ethan. That's all I'm saying. What do we make of Sheamus as US champion so far? Honestly, I'm actually kind of enjoying it. I think he's been a good champion. He just hasn't had a good division around him. Megan said she might put Kings back on. Yeah. The Corey Graves just said it was a championship contenders match because I'm already sick to death of hearing that phrase. It is infuriating. Moxie, do you have any source for this? Do you have any source for this? Sounds like a yesin. Sounds like a yesin. Like it says, matches he's had have been good, but the injury obviously knocked things for a bit. It did. It dropped him out of the picture for a little bit. I'm looking on Twitter every now and then, and just enthusiasm for this just isn't there. I would be surprised if this Raw actually has a decent rating at all. And this isn't good enough to keep my attention. Especially when I'm working in the morning and I'm tired. I don't have the energy to sit through this. Michael says, at least it made more sense on SmackDown. How do you lose a contenders match and still be a contender? You got me. It's a good question, that. It's a very good question. I think, unfortunately, it might just be bullshit. Fair enough, Moxie. I hope they split up Nia and Shayna. I hope they get drafted separate. I just don't necessarily think that they will. Right, the big question for me. You're right, Jada. Welcome, mate. So, my interpretation so far. They're doing well with Matt Riddle and Randy Orton. The opening promo was good, and we're going to get AJ Styles versus Randy Orton later, which should be a good match. McIntyre versus Corbin happened. I'm confused as to why Corbin was the choice, but it was a good match. Since then, it's not good. I don't see that one, Moxie. I really don't. Like I said, I would not be mad if Piper and Eva and Nia and Shayna broke up. Giving badass Shayna back, maybe Sonya as a manager, just as a bonus for me. Don't tempt me with that. I just need to see that feud, really. Those who just go into absolute war with each other. Yeah, there'll definitely be the body slam. I've been talking about that one for a while. The Andre the Giant moment. It's coming. It's coming. Okay, we're back to Raw. He's not J-Dub, but that would be that would certainly explain a lot of things. A lot of things. Shayna and Sonya could become the women's equivalent of Heyman and Brock. Would be fun. Would be fun. I'd like to see Sonya get in the ring again and wrestle. We know that's coming. It's just when it arrives. Okay, we're just getting images of Disneyland. Sorry, Disney World. What happens in the last 15 minutes? Alexa Bliss, her doll winked. It's not a euphemism. The thing is, Bailey, almost all heel heat nowadays is go away heat. That's just heel heat. There are very few heels now who are hated for non-go away reasons. I think Roman's one of very few, but he's a bit too respected, you know? When you look at the heels in the company, how long did Corbin have go away heat? Nobody liked that guy for ages, and now here we are. It's hard to read too much into. I mean, that's a phrase. Right. They just gave us a little recap from WrestleMania Backlash when we last saw, not when we last saw, a time when we saw Sheamus versus Ricochet. Essentially, what they're saying to us is, hey, you've seen this before. I don't need reminding of that. Welcome, Supercard. How the devil are you? Hope you're well. I'm doing good, thank you. A little tired. I am having to have a good think about doing these Raws while working full time. Especially when it gets announced, oh, Damian Priest will take on John Morrison. Again. Like, you were feuding with that guy for 5 months, and now you're doing it again. You just started doing it again. There's nothing new. There's nothing really very exciting. Dave says, you know how much I love Ricochet. So glad he's on TV. Honestly, shocked he still has a job with WWE after all these cuts. You're not alone there. You're not alone. I think one of the main reasons he does still have a job is because he had the Aleister Black contract. His call-up, he didn't get a big increase in money like a lot of other people did. But that's why he also still has a 30-day non-compete clause rather than the 90-day for the main roster. Okay, we're in rest hold. The match is pretty slow. For a Ricochet match, I don't want slow. We need pace. That is not a steel mask. Don't be ridiculous. Learn what steel is. Okay, we've had a body slam. That's like the first big move. It's mostly just a lot of punches thrown. That's a Triple H style knee. Been ages since I've seen one of them. When you're Ricochet and you still do a baseball slide, you can do better than that. Try again. Try it again. Nice. Nice. And a commercial break. Literally, just as you're getting going. And if WWE P2P know exactly how in-demand Ricochet would be should he get released. Can't imagine he'd be unsigned for long should it come to pass. Yeah, absolutely. I'm going to be honest with you guys. I've been flagging for the last hour. My energy level isn't here. It's just not here. And this Raw, it's not doing the job. It's not doing the job. So I'm going to ask you guys if you'd mind if I go to bed. I'm going to ask you guys if you mind if I do that because I'm going to be honest with you. This Raw's not exciting to me. I'm exhausted. And I do start work in 6.5 hours. Sorry to disappoint. Sorry not to stay here for the whole show, but I think if I'm here for another hour, I'm going to be passing out during work tomorrow. And I got to prioritize it. So a big sorry. I am going to have to ask the question of these Raw watch parties. SmackDown goes fine. We can do SmackDown ones, but I think the Raw ones, I'm going to have a serious think. I want to be here for them, but I may need to have a think while I'm working this particular job. Thank you, everyone who has joined me. Thank you, everyone, for giving me Thank you for trying to make Raw a bit more fun for me. You've certainly succeeded in keeping me interested for at least an hour and a half. But my God, I can't stay up till 4 a.m. So thank you, everyone. We will be back for Spoiler Warning on Friday. Spoiler Warning earlier today had a peak of 38 viewers, and it's getting increasingly more successful. We will definitely be doing the SmackDown watch party as well. We'll be doing the SummerSlam watch parties. When I've not got work in the morning, we'll be doing all the watch parties. But for this one, thank you. I'm going to say good night.